Gentlemen, we got to talk. All right. Fourth round. Pick 109. Shedeur Sanders, fourth round, pick 109. Let me know in the comments. Are you doing it? Yes or no? I know the first 5, 6 comments are going to be 3 emphatic yeses and 3 emphatic nos. He is a player that people don't have many in between takes about, but I kind of do on the prospect. Now, I haven't talked about Shedeur Sanders and the Jets for a long time because I knew they weren't going to take him at 7, and I thought he'd be gone by 42. I'm honestly stunned that he is still available as the third round is just wrapped up. Now, why? Did the interviews go poorly? Do people not want to deal with his dad? Is the NFL conspiring against him? You can go on social media and find your favorite reason why. I don't know. I will say that I think Sanders, ironically, as polarizing as he is as a just him as a person and this fall and where people stand on him and why he's falling and his dad and all that. As a football player, I think he is a relatively like you think he'd come with a boom or busty profile, but when I look at Sanders, I see a pretty low ceiling, relatively high floor type of quarterback. Andy Dalton has been a name that's been thrown out there, and I don't think that's a massive insult. Andy Dalton is rich as hell. Andy Dalton started in this league for close to a decade. He's still a backup quarterback, getting paid a good amount of money to down in Carolina to be a backup. Like if you're a player that's now going to be taken on day 3, which Sanders is, you would sign for Andy Dalton's career. It's no shade towards Sanders to call him Andy Dalton. I know it sounds like a slur. Andy Dalton, like an insult, but it's not. It's not. Andy Dalton, look up his stats and where he would rank in Jets history, right? So and I do think he's tough as hell. He'll stand in the pocket and just take shots and still fire the ball down the field. He won't run backwards. He'll step up into the pocket and be willing to take a shot and try and fit a ball in a tight window. He does throw with good accuracy, good anticipation. He has some improvisational ability, even though he's not a great athlete. But with Sanders, I do think the arm velocity and the size and the athleticism are all below what you would consider to be like franchise quarterbacks in the modern NFL. The ability to see it late and drop your arm angle and fire it in a tight window when you're playing outdoors and it's maybe questionable weather. I just don't know if he has those kind of traits. And let's be honest, if he did, he would have gone by now. Whatever else the reason is he's not being taken, like if he had unbelievable traits, even Cam Ward's traits, he would have gone. Someone would have taken a shot by now. So I think it's a combination of things with Sanders. But that being said, yeah, I do think the positive traits I mentioned do give him a relatively high floor to potentially be an adequate and average to even if you're a below average starting quarterback in the NFL. And the Jets right now, they're trying to get Justin Fields to become that. Maybe he can be. I don't think Sanders or Fields have the ceiling to be a great quarterback, just bluntly. Like with Fields, if he can turn into the 18th, 19th best quarterback in the NFL, like hell yeah, if you're the Jets. Hell yeah. If you draft Sanders in the 4th round, same thing. So now you're kind of giving yourself 2 shots at that would be the idea if you take a quarterback here. Now, also, like if you're Aaron Glenn, do I look at Shedeur Sanders and does he scream Aaron Glenn to me? He does not. And I think part of it is not the player's fault. Part of it is his dad. Again, I'm not saying that they're like terrible people or anything like that. But I think if you're an NFL team and you take Sanders and maybe your plan is for him to sit a whole year, but the team is not doing very well, is he going to just not say anything about that and not have Aaron Glenn having to answer questions about his current backup quarterback's 4th round pick, what his dad said? Is that now like a talking point just when they just got done with the former quarterback of the Jets being a talking point still in the draft? Like, is that something that they want to deal with? I think that's a factor teams are considering, fair or not. So, but at what point in the draft is, if you could potentially get a quarterback who could be a starting quarterback, at what point in the draft does that risk reward ratio become worth it? Because if he's there in the 6th round, I don't think he will be. If he's there in the 6th round, screw it. You take him in the second Dion gets annoying, you can cut him it's 6th round money. Again, and just as an extreme example to show like I'd be willing to make that trade off at some point. And I think at pick 109, any team that doesn't have an entrenched starter has to at least be having conversations about it. Now, interestingly enough, another quarterback who I really like is Kyle McCord. I love Kyle McCord, man. So if the Jets are going to dabble in the quarterback waters in round 4, which I was hoping they wouldn't, especially in the first 3 rounds, I still don't think my prediction is they don't take a quarterback at all. It's just my prediction. But if they're going to, I think McCord in the 4th round could also be pretty good value. I think he just fires piss missiles down the damn field. It was an incredibly vertical offense at Syracuse, and he's big enough. He's got enough arm strength. He's definitely is below average athlete for what you see with most really good quarterbacks in the NFL. But he looks like a pro style quarterback who maybe it would end up being a high end bridge or a backup. But I do see some Brock Purdy in him, just not necessarily as good improvisationally or off script as Purdy. But that's kind of stylistically who he reminds me of. And I think he could be I felt that way for a while that McCord was going to be this quarterback steal of this class. So, and again, if you're taking a quarterback in the 4th round, like it's not as though if they took one at 7 or 42, where that kind of immediately undercuts the Fields experiment, right? If you take like if the Jets, I don't know, if the Jets traded up for Jackson Dart in late round 1, you're basically telling Fields like, yeah, you're just a placeholder. You're just keeping the seat warm for this guy, right? But in the 4th round, you're not. That's not really the case in the 4th or 5th round. That player would just be a developmental player who, even if they turn to end up being a backup quarterback, Tyrod Taylor is making $6-7 million. So if you get a backup quarterback who eventually is worth that, that's fine return on investment for a 4th round pick. Now, obviously, Jordan Travis, I have no idea what to make of Travis until we see him healthy. And then this regime didn't draft him, so I don't know how he factors into their plans or what they think of him. So I would do want to mention him because I think he'll probably come up in the comments. I just don't know how to fit. I don't know how he fits into the conversation in terms of what Glenn and Muji think. But let me know. Quarterback, should the Jets do it? And if so, who should it be? And we'll talk all soon.